Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. You ready to get into some trading psychology today?
Absolutely. We're going beyond the charts and indicators.
Deeper into the mind of a trader. What really makes them successful?
Because, let's be honest, most traders, they don't make it.
So what separates the winners from everyone else? That's what we're going to try to unpack today.
Yeah, using some really interesting insights from the book Best Loser Wins.
By Tom Hugard. Have you heard of it?
Oh, it's a fantastic read. It really gets into the psychology of trading.
It does. And one of the most powerful lessons comes right at the beginning with what Tom calls the Marconi lesson.
Ooh, yeah, I remember this one.
So Tom's advising this room full of investors,
Yeah.
buy rollers, right? And they're all hyped up about Marconi.
This was back when the stock had tanked.
Like big time, from 1,200 pence down to 450.
And everyone was thinking the same thing.
Bargain. Gotta buy it now.
Like finding that half-price soap at the grocery store. You know?
Exactly. But Tom, he throws everyone a curveball. It's like, why are you chasing this falling stock? It's garbage. Bold move, right?
Yeah, and guess what? He got fired for that advice.
All because he told them what they didn't want to hear.
That Marconi was headed for zero. Which it did, by the way.
Talk about a lesson in going against the grain.
And that's what this book is all about. Doing the opposite of what most people do.
Being a contrarian.
Like that urge to buy a stock just because it's plummeting. Everyone thinks it's a steal, so you gotta get in.
Tom says that's exactly when you need to be extra cautious.
Because the market doesn't work like a supermarket sale.
You can't just buy the dip and expect to make money every time.
Right. He gives this other great example using the IG Client Sentiment Report.
Oh yeah, that's a fascinating one.
It shows how traders are positioned in the market. Are they buying or selling?
So you can see what the crowd is doing.
And get this. On a day when the Dow Jones hit an all-time high,
what are people doing?
Most IG clients were actually shorting the market.
Betting against the trend.
They were thinking, okay, it's got to come down now.
Again, that supermarket mentality.
Exactly. But Tom's point is, you can't just assume that what goes up must come down.
You need to understand the bigger picture. The fundamentals driving the market.
And maybe even more importantly, you need to understand your own emotions.
Fear and greed, they can really mess with your judgment.
Which brings us to another one of Tom's big ideas. Embracing the pain of loss.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Because he actually says that winners are good at losing.
I know, it sounds crazy, right?
But think about it. Most people try to avoid losing at all costs.
Holding on to those bad trades, hoping they'll turn around.
Cutting their winners short because they're scared of losing those gains.
But Tom argues that successful traders, they do the opposite.
They cut their losses quickly and let their winners run.
Minimizing the damage and maximizing the profits.
So how do they do that? How do they overcome that natural instinct to avoid pain?
Well, Tom tells this story about being in a slump. Just losing trade after trade.
And his friend, also a trader, is on this crazy winning streak.
And Tom's feeling pretty down on himself.
Comparing himself to his friend, thinking, what am I doing wrong?
But then his girlfriend, she gives him this really insightful advice.
She's like, look at it as a learning opportunity.
Study your losses and figure out what went wrong.
It was a total shift in perspective.
Instead of focusing on the pain of losing, he started to see it as valuable information.
A way to improve his game.
And that change in his beliefs about trading, that's what ultimately helped him become successful.
He even created this thing called the Book of Truths.
A journal where he meticulously documented all his trades, the good and the bad.
It's like a tool for ruthless self-analysis.
Forcing yourself to confront your mistakes and identify patterns in your behavior.
We could all probably benefit from something like that.
Absolutely. Whether we're trading or just trying to improve any area of our lives.
It's about being honest with yourself, about knowing your weaknesses so you can work on them.
Now, another fascinating aspect of Tom's approach is his emphasis on visualization.
He uses vivid imagery to prepare himself for trading.
Like facing alligators or climbing cliffs.
Sounds intense.
It is. But it's not about the specific images. It's about training your mind to stay calm under pressure.
Like athletes using visualization to improve their performance.
Exactly. It's about developing that mental resilience, that ability to stay in control when things get crazy.
So what kind of mental training could you do to become a better trader?
Or just to improve any area of your life. What are those mental obstacles holding you back?
That's something to think about.
It is. Now, before we go any further, let's recap some of Tom's core trading beliefs.
Okay, hit me with them.
First up, assume you're wrong until proven right.
So challenge your assumptions.
Exactly. Don't blindly follow the crowd.
Yeah.
Think for yourself. Do your own research.
Okay, what else?
Expect to be uncomfortable. It means you're challenging your natural instincts.
I love that. Discomfort as a sign of growth.
Right. It means you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone.
Okay, give me another one.
Add to winners, never to losers.
So if you're winning, double down.
In a way, yes. It's about increasing your stake in a trade that's already moving in your favor.
Riding that wave of success.
But only when you're already winning, not chasing losses.
Makes sense. And the last one.
Trust the process, not the outcome of any single trade.
It's about the long game, not the quick wins.
Exactly. Focus on consistent execution, on building a system that works for you over time.
So there you have it. 4 core beliefs that form the foundation of Tom's approach.
And remember, these aren't just abstract ideas. They're actionable insights you can apply to your own trading.
And maybe even to other areas of your life, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
It's about having the right mindset, the right attitude to achieve success in anything you do.
So much to unpack there. And we're just getting started.
Oh yeah, we've got a lot more to explore.
In part 2, we'll delve even deeper into Tom's world
We'll talk about his adding epiphany.
and uncover even more powerful insights from Best Loser Wins.
So stay tuned.
Back again for more Best Loser Wins. And you know, one of the things that really got me thinking was how Tom turns traditional trading wisdom on its head.
Oh yeah. He really challenges those old school ideas.
Like this whole concept of the adding epiphany just blew my mind.
Totally changed the game for Tom too.
So he's at this technical analysis course in Johannesburg.
Learning from the best.
And the instructor, Dr. David Paul, he just drops this bomb.
What'd he say?
He's like, when you're winning, don't think about where to get out. Think about where to get in more.
Whoa. That's like the opposite of what most traders are taught.
Right. We're always thinking about protecting profits, minimizing risk.
Taking some money off the table, playing it safe.
But this guy's saying, no, push your advantage. Double down when it's working.
Lean into the discomfort. Go for those bigger wins.
I gotta admit, that's kind of scary for me.
Yeah, it goes against our natural instincts, that urge to protect what we've got.
But Tom realized that by adding to his winners, he was actually fighting his brain's tendency to always scale down risk.
Rewiring his trading DNA.
Exactly. Overriding those ingrained instincts to play it safe.
Do you think we can really rewire those instincts, though? Or are we always going to be battling those emotional responses?
That's a great question. And honestly, I think it's a journey, not a destination.
Makes sense.
We'll always have those impulses, but with practice, we can learn to manage them better.
Tom actually gives a real-world example of this in the book.
Oh, yeah.
A trade on the Dow Jones, where he keeps scaling into his short position as it's moving in his favor.
Could you break that down for us? I think it'd be helpful to see how this actually works.
Sure. So picture the Dow Jones dropping. Tom thinks it's going to keep falling, so he enters a short position. He's betting it'll go lower.
Okay, I'm following.
And as the Dow keeps dropping, confirming his analysis, he increases his bet. He adds to his position, essentially buying more contracts that will profit if the Dow keeps tanking.
So he's magnifying his gains as it goes down.
Exactly.
It's like riding a wave, but instead of letting it take you to shore, you're paddling harder to stay on top.
Perfect analogy. But of course, Tom's not saying this is for everyone.
Right. You need to know yourself, your risk tolerance.
It's not about blindly throwing money at a trade. It's about calculated aggression, having the confidence to press your advantage when the market's moving with you.
This whole concept really shows how important self-awareness is, don't you think?
Absolutely. Understanding those deep-seated beliefs that might be holding you back is crucial. Tom actually outlines some common traits of losing traders.
Oh, yeah. What are some of those?
Well, he says they chase the market, jump in and out of positions based on fear and greed, always second-guessing themselves,
Taking half profits because they're afraid of losing what they've gained,
or cutting winners short because they don't believe the move will continue.
and then adding to losers because they can't admit they're wrong.
It's like they're fighting the market instead of flowing with it.
So how do we stop doing that?
Well, Tom says we need to change our beliefs, rewire our trading DNA to align with the principles of successful trading.
Like with that Book of Truths idea.
Exactly. It's about holding a mirror up to your trading soul, really analyzing your behavior, your strengths and weaknesses.
Tom realized through this process that he was a classic value trader, always looking for bargains, trying to buy low and sell high.
Which we know doesn't always work in the market.
Right. The Book of Truths helped him see that, helped him recognize those beliefs that were sabotaging his success.
Incredible example of the power of self-awareness, of understanding what makes you tick as a trader.
And that goes way beyond trading, right? Self-awareness is key to anything you want to be good at.
Absolutely. Now, another thing Tom dives into is how to deal with adversity, those painful losing trades.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
He says no amount of hard work, resolve, or prayer will turn a bad trading position into a good position.
Ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow.
But it's true. The market doesn't care about our feelings. It's going to do its thing, regardless of what we want.
So how do we deal with that?
Tom says we need to adapt, adjust our mindset and our approach based on what the market's telling us.
He tells a story about a friend of his, this brilliant engineer who made a fortune in mining.
Smart guy, right?
Yeah, but he kept getting tripped up by his emotions and trading.
He was so used to solving problems with hard work and determination.
But that doesn't always fly in the market.
He was in a losing trade, just staring at the screen, convinced it had to turn around.
And his wife walks in and says, but it's not going up right now, is it?
Such a simple observation, but it was like a wake-up call for him.
It shows how our emotions can blind us to what's really happening.
He was trading his opinion, not the reality of the market.
That's such a common trap, isn't it?
It is. We get attached to our analysis, our predictions, and forget to listen to the market itself.
So how do we break free from that?
Detach from those emotions. Accept that losses are part of the game.
Focus on the process, not the outcome of every single trade.
Tom uses this analogy of a free solo climber, someone climbing without ropes.
Talk about high stakes.
Right. And he says these climbers train their minds to stay calm under pressure, to not let fear take over.
That takes serious mental strength.
And that's what we need as traders too. That ability to stay focused and execute our plan, even when things are going against us.
So how do we cultivate that kind of mental toughness?
That's where we get to one of Tom's most powerful ideas. Act without fear.
I like the sound of that.
This is where he gets deep into the psychology of trading, the role of fear, pain, and hope in our decision-making.
Most traders are driven by a desire to avoid pain, right?
Which leads them to hold on to losers and cut winners short.
It's human nature.
But it can be devastating in trading. Tom challenges us to reframe our relationship with these emotions, to see the pain of loss as a signal, an opportunity to learn and grow.
So failure becomes a stepping stone.
Exactly. He's not saying to ignore your feelings, but to become aware of them.
To see how they might be influencing your decisions.
And then develop strategies to manage those emotions.
Makes sense. He tells another great story about this legendary bond trader, Charlie DeFrancesca, Charlie D.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him. He was known for his ability to stay calm in the craziest situations.
Tom asked him, what's the key to being a good trader?
And Charlie D said, good trading goes against normal human instinct.
So we have to overcome those natural impulses, those fear-based reactions that lead to bad decisions.
Tom really takes this to heart. He develops a whole system for training his mind to act in a way that aligns with successful trading.
What's that system like?
Well, he visualizes himself in stressful situations, like facing an alligator or climbing a dangerous cliff.
Again with the alligators.
It's about practicing staying calm, focused, and in control, even when your heart's racing, even when your instincts are screaming at you to run.
Wow, intense stuff, but I get it. It's like training your mind to be fearless.
Exactly. It's incredible how you can use mental training to develop that emotional resilience you need to thrive as a trader.
You're basically rewiring your brain to respond to stress in a way that helps you instead of hurting you.
Now, Tom also emphasizes the importance of not being alone in this.
That's so important. Trading can be isolating, especially if you're working from home by yourself all day.
He encourages traders to find ways to connect with others, share their experiences, learn from each other.
Build a support system, a community of people who get it.
Like what we're doing here, right?
Yeah.
Sharing these ideas and insights.
Exactly. Trading doesn't have to be a solitary pursuit. There's power in connecting with others, learning from their journeys, and supporting each other through the ups and downs.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
But Tom also gets real about the darker side of trading.
The toll it can take on you mentally and emotionally.
Yeah. He tells this heartbreaking story about a friend of his, Adam, who was a brilliant trader.
What happened to him?
He lost everything. His trading account, his wife, his house, all because of bad decisions and not being able to handle the stress.
That's a stark reminder that trading can be dangerous if you let it consume you.
Tom emphasizes the importance of having a healthy relationship with trading.
Setting boundaries, taking breaks, getting help if you need it.
Because it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to take care of yourself if you want to stay in the game.
One of the things I appreciate most about Tom is his honesty about his own struggles.
He doesn't pretend to have it all figured out.
Not at all. He's open about his setbacks and what he's learned from them.
Makes his message even more powerful.
Yeah.
It shows that even the best traders are human. They make mistakes. They have to work on their mindset.
He talks about a time when he was in a slump, feeling frustrated, comparing himself to a friend who was winning big.
We've all been there.
And his girlfriend, she gives him this amazing advice. She says, "You're lucky. Not everyone has someone who's better than them, who they stay up at night wondering how to beat."
Wow, that's good.
Right. She's saying, use this as motivation to improve your own game.
It's about shifting your perspective, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth.
So often we compare ourselves to others and feel bad.
But instead, we should use those comparisons as fuel to learn and grow.
Tom also talks about bouncing back from setbacks, not letting fear paralyze you.
Like getting wiped out by a wave while surfing, but then having the courage to paddle back out and catch another one.
It's about building that mental toughness, that resilience.
And it all ties back to that idea of best loser wins, embracing the pain of loss as part of the journey.
So he's not just pointing out the problems. He's giving us solutions, tools to develop a winning mindset.
He emphasizes self-awareness, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, identifying those subconscious beliefs that might be holding you back.
Using visualization to mentally rehearse successful trades and build that emotional resilience.
Creating a book of truths to document your trades and analyze your behavior.
Having a plan, a set of rules you follow no matter what.
And embracing discomfort, seeing it as a sign that you're growing, pushing yourself beyond your limits.
That's a lot to absorb, but it's all valuable stuff.
And here's another important point Tom stresses: the power of asking for help.
Yeah, that could be hard to do, especially in trading where it feels like everyone's competing.
But Tom believes we all have limiting beliefs, those thoughts that hold us back.
So we need to identify those beliefs and work on changing them.
He suggests this process he calls ask for help.
What's that about?
It's a 3-step process. Accept the belief, diffuse its negative energy, and replace it with a more empowering belief.
So you're not ignoring the limiting belief, you're acknowledging it, but then taking away its power.
Exactly. And then choosing to believe something different, something that supports your goals.
Tom also talks about finding mentors, people who can guide and support you.
Because trading doesn't have to be a solo mission.
It's good to have a community, people who understand the challenges.
We've talked a lot about emotions and mindset, but Tom also highlights the importance of disassociation.
Detachment.
Yes, detaching from the emotional roller coaster of trading, seeing the market more objectively.
He tells that story about helping his friend who was getting harassed online.
And how he was able to stay detached, offer practical advice instead of getting caught up in the drama.
It's a great analogy for trading, right? Staying calm and objective, not getting swept away by your emotions.
And that leads us to Tom's ultimate message.
Let me guess. Trust the process. It's about having a system, a set of rules you follow consistently, and trusting that it'll work over time.
Not getting hung up on every single trade, but focusing on the bigger picture.
And having the discipline to stick to your plan, even when it's tough.
Because success in trading and in life comes down to mindset. Having the right beliefs and the right tools to handle the challenges.
Tom's book has given us so much to think about.
It has. It's a reminder that we have the power to shape our reality.
By changing our beliefs and behaviors.
We can achieve anything we set our minds to.
So what's one belief about trading or anything else that might be holding you back?
What if you challenged that belief? What if you replaced it with something more empowering?
Something to ponder as you continue your trading journey. Welcome back to our deep dive.
Bye.
It all comes down to this, the final part of Best Loser Wins.
We've covered a lot of ground, right? From contrarian thinking to facing those alligators.
But now we're getting to the core of it all, the power of belief.
It's a theme that runs throughout the whole book, isn't it? How our beliefs shape our reality.
Absolutely. Tom says that our beliefs, those deep-seated convictions, they really drive our trading decisions.
And ultimately, our success or failure.
He even flips that old saying on its head. You know, I'll believe it when I see it.
What does he say instead?
I will see it when I believe it.
So you have to cultivate the belief first, and then the results will follow.
It's almost like manifestation, but it's more than just wishing. It's about actively shaping those beliefs to match your goals.
How do you think a belief might affect someone's trading?
Well, imagine you believe that trading is super risky and that most people lose money.
That's a pretty common belief, unfortunately.
It is. And if that's your starting point, you're probably going to approach the market with fear, with hesitation.
Which can lead to all sorts of bad decisions.
You might cut your winners short, hold on to losers for too long, all because you're terrified of losing.
Makes sense. But what if you believe that trading is a skill you can learn, that you can be successful?
Then you're coming at it with a whole different mindset.
Confidence, determination, a willingness to take calculated risks.
So the question is, how do we change those limiting beliefs?
Tom shares a story about struggling with this himself. He felt this need to make money quickly in the market.
Like he had to get in on the action right away.
Exactly. And he realized that this belief was pushing him to make impulsive decisions,
Hurting his performance in the long run.
He ended up using his ask for help process to tackle this belief.
Remind us how that works again.
There's 3 steps. First, accept the belief, acknowledge it's there.
So you're not fighting it, just recognizing it.
Right. Then diffuse its negative energy, maybe visualize it shrinking, meditate, talk it out with someone.
Take away its power.
Exactly. And finally, replace that limiting belief with a new one, something positive and empowering.
So for Tom, instead of believing he had to make money fast, he decided to wait for the first 10-minute bar to close before making any moves. By shifting his belief, he changed his behavior and ultimately his results.
It shows how powerful it can be to reprogram our minds for success.
But changing those beliefs, it's not a walk in the park, is it?
No, it takes time and effort. It's an ongoing process.
We have to be patient with ourselves, recognize those limiting beliefs without judgment.
And actively work on replacing them with beliefs that support us.
Tom also suggests finding mentors, people who embody the beliefs and behaviors we want to cultivate.
Surrounding yourself with successful traders, learning from their experience.
It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Want to be a winner? Hang out with winners.
Exactly. Tom also points out that a lot of our beliefs come from our past experiences.
Our upbringing, our families, what society tells us.
He talks about his parents' divorce and how that shaped his beliefs about money and security,
How those beliefs were affecting his trading.
making him trade from a place of fear instead of logic.
It's a reminder that our beliefs aren't set in stone. We can change them, but it takes conscious effort.
And a willingness to really look at those deep-seated patterns.
One of the most powerful stories in the book is about Tom's struggle with alcohol addiction.
That's pretty heavy stuff.
He talks about hitting rock bottom, going to AA meetings, feeling completely exposed,
But he also talks about the power of that experience.
being brutally honest with himself, facing his demons.
It was a turning point for him, a chance to start over.
And he connects that to changing your trading mindset. It's about facing those inner challenges, acknowledging your weaknesses.
and making a commitment to change.
It's tough, but so worth it.
I appreciate how Tom doesn't sugarcoat things. He's honest about how hard trading is.
Most people don't make it.
He says success takes hard work, discipline, and a constant desire to learn and grow.
But he also offers hope. He believes anyone can succeed.
If they have the right mindset, the right tools, and the willingness to put in the effort.
He talks about having a clear sense of purpose, knowing why you're trading.
And disassociation, again, detaching from the emotional ups and downs.
Remember that story about his friend being harassed online? How Tom stayed detached and offered practical advice?
It's like that with trading. Staying calm, objective, not getting swept up in the drama.
Which brings us back to Tom's ultimate message.
Trust the process.
It's about having a system, following it consistently, and trusting that it'll pay off in the long run.
Not obsessing over every single trade, but playing the long game.
Having the discipline to stick to your plan, even when it's tough.
Because in the end, success comes down to mindset. Having the right beliefs and the mental tools to overcome those challenges.
Tom's book has given us so much to think about.
It really has. It's a reminder that we have the power to create our own reality.
By changing our beliefs and our actions.
We can achieve anything we set our minds to.
So what's one belief about trading or anything else that might be holding you back?
What if you challenged that belief? What if you replaced it with something stronger, something that lifts you up?
That's something to consider as you continue your trading journey.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Best Loser Wins. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights that will help you in your trading and in your life.
And remember, trust the process. We'll see you next time.